Hi, this video is in response to the scenario that you have a varsity sport program and you want to make it kind of the cornerstone of your positive intergroup relations at a racially mixed high school. I think this can be a difficult proposition, but one of the first questions is, what challenges will you face as you try to do this? I think you're going to have challenges in getting all the different groups on board. You're going to have to obviously be a strong principal. Make sure you have an athletic director who's really principal based and is hiring the most qualified coaches amongst the staff as possible. You're probably going to want to make the coaches racially diverse, so that there's different, each athlete feels like they have someone that they can come talk to that represents them. Also, you're going to have probably a backlash from the parents, the boosters, the kids themselves, depending on the sport and the idea of equity and fairness of playing time, who makes the roster, a lot of those different things. Probably the most difficult challenge, I think, will be getting probably the parents to buy into this notion, because most of the time kids just want to play. An athlete wants to be an athlete, and they're going to play the sport. But a lot of it too has to do with their peers and what the social issues are within the school itself. Because I think a lot of times when you're in that group, of just that 15 players or 25 players, it's much easier to create an environment, a belief within them, compared to if you're talking about a 1,500 to 2,000 you know population in a school. Now, the nice thing about athletics is especially if you're winning, is that that core group of kids can really turn around and make a big difference. This is an interesting topic because if you just watched Best of Enemies, the 30 for 30, it actually, one of the scenes is Magic Johnson, who, when he busing started his freshman year in high school. So he and all his buddies from his neighborhood planned on going winning state titles together at the high school in his neighborhood, but he got bussed. And the principal actually asked him to speak at the rally as a freshman, to talk about this integration and how they were going to do exactly this. So it's an interesting topic after just watching that 30 for 30 a little while ago, but I digress. Coakley says the most effective way to diffuse racial ideology is for people to understand each other's history and heritage and to depend on each other to achieve their goals. And I think that's one of those things where, when I was watching 42, and the manager from Cleveland is really getting on Jackie Robinson, and his teammate comes over and gets in the manager's face, and afterwards, Jackie comes into the dugout and thanks him, and he says, you're my teammate, what else am I supposed to do? I think you can see how sports in that moment, really goes beyond what all the fans and everything that's going on, and the idea of team and the philosophy of this is your family and that type of thing, overrides a lot of the other things that go on. So I think it is much easier to do it within the culture of team, as long as you have strong leadership. And that gets to the last question: what strategies will you implement to make this a success? Well, as Lumpkin says, principle-centered leaders need to intentionally and continuously emphasize values as the foundation for eliminating injustices. So I think strong leadership, from the top down, creating a leadership group within a team, with different kids, having a little board, that kind of helps with bring issues and solve issues among the team and bring them to the coaching staff. Strong team rules and principles, and making sure that the team gets a chance to bond, maybe even outside the school itself, in a way that allows them to start to build trust and communication within the group. I think a lot of that, once that happens, you're just a teammate, and that respect, grows no matter where you're from, no matter what your racial ideology is in the beginning. So I think, it just, very structured, fair, equitable treatment based on strong principles and rules really sets the tone for something like this. All right. Thanks, you guys.